joining us today, I think for the last time in his capacity as CEO of Premier African Minerals, is George Roach. Of course, still the CEO of Premier African Minerals, but not for too much longer. George, thank you for joining us, as always. How are you?
Oh, that's a pleasure, Mark. I'm fine. Thank you very much indeed. And it's always good to chat to you.
Yeah, well, it's nice to speak, albeit, I'm sure we'll be speaking again, but sort of drawing a close, if you like, to your time at Prem here. I mean, first of all, how are you feeling to be leaving? And are there any sort of key milestones that stand out during your tenure as CEO?
I would have, I think, preferred to have completed the work on the Zulu project. It's very close where it is. And I think that in Graham Hill there is a competency. There are competencies, should I say, that I did not have, and that Prem urgently needs. So I'm comfortable with where it is and who's there. I have no further control over the direction that the project takes or various other things such as that. But I leave with a feeling of confidence in terms of the project itself, not just Zulu, but RHA as well. I leave with a feeling of confidence that those are two good projects, well-resourced, well understood in terms of the processes, the mineralogy, and so on and so forth of those projects. And I think that it's in good and competent hands, and I expect to see that these things will progress well into the future.
Okay, good. And if you were to look back over your vast time at Prem, would there be any decisions that you would say had the biggest impact on the company's trajectory? Maybe one good and one bad, I don't know, but some sort of key things along the way.
Yes. Look, there have been a number of those critical points along the way. And I think one worth bearing in mind is, if we just look at Zulu, that we were progressing down the traditional path of completing a DFS. At the time that Canmax wanted us to urgently proceed and get something into production. And the fact that we were not completed DFS-wise was known and clearly understood and explained to everybody. But in terms of the fact that Canmax were ready and willing to fund, and in terms of the confidence we had in the resource and in the process, and I must emphasize that Anzaplan, and that's the one thing that has never had any criticism, is the work that Anzaplan did, the test work. That we were at that stage, we went ahead and asked the entity who did it to put up a proposal. They presented themselves with expertise, presented a proposal. A proposal was sent through to Canmax, who came back fairly quickly and said, yes, let's go ahead, and kind of, where do we send the money? And I think that at the time, with spodumene pricing, with some of the forecasts and so on, I think it was a decision that was validly taken. No decision is necessarily perfect with hindsight. But I think that what is worth bearing in mind is that had we not gone ahead then, I do not believe Zulu would be a built mine today. I don't think the financing would have been the same kind of situation had we waited another year to complete the DFS. So from that perspective, I think it was the right decision. And as I say, the upside from a geological and resource perspective that is there in the EPO tends to support this, in my personal opinion. So I think that was one of those things that we had to do in terms of Zulu. We got it wrong there, and with RHA in terms of what happened with the pricing and the speed with which some of that pricing changed. But again, if you just move beyond Zulu and have a look at RHA and look at where tungsten prices are at the moment, there is a compelling reason to get that one resolved with the ownership issues, and to get that back into production urgently. And there's a fair amount of interest. I think I've reported on that previously, and it's in RNSs.
Okay. And I mean, are you leaving in a state that you're happy with the way the plant is, with the way it's set up to continue under Graham's leadership? And would you have any, I don't know if you'd like to give advice or maybe just words or thoughts that you might give to Graham, for example, on some of the priorities for the next sort of phase of the company's growth?
Well, Graham and I have discussed very frankly where this is. I think that the single biggest issue that the company needs to deal with is in cementing the relationship with the offtaker. And I think that the letter of intent that was also announced in April had dates in it that would see to the next stages in discussion and negotiation happening round about now. And I'm pretty confident that that is going to be the case. The outcome of a negotiation is obviously not known, otherwise it wouldn't be a negotiation. But is there a confidence that I feel in terms of the plant's ability to produce? Yep. From what we have there, from where we've come from and where we are now, this thing is so close at the moment to getting the recoveries that it needs, not the grade it's shown it can do. It just needs to boost the recoveries. And I think that the next running that will take place with that plant has got a really good chance of taking that second and last component over the line.
Okay. And I mean, do you have any plans now that effectively your day job, if you like, is passed to someone else? What are you going to do? I think you're going to sail off into the sunset. I don't know.
I don't know that I have that one in me.
Right.
I was kind of musing over this the other day, and I think I started working just after I turned 18.
Right.
I haven't really stopped since then. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I stopped. So no, there are some other interests that are there.
Okay.
Some of them that we'll talk about in future, some that I think are very interesting. So no, I'm not going away anywhere other than taking a couple of days from tomorrow off to go and see a live concert that I've been wanting to see for the last 25 years, and finally we'll be able to do it. So
okay.
So that's
it's not Oasis, is it?
I beg your pardon?
It's not Oasis, is it?
No, it's not Oasis. It's RHA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, George, I mean, it's been a pleasure. It's been it's been a roller coaster ride. I think you came on with Stopbox, I think when we pretty much first started. It would have been over 5 years ago now. So thank you for taking us on that journey. Thank you for the site visit. I do hope to get there again when it is all up and running. It'd be great to see that, and obviously, of course, talk to Graham as well. And I guess from next week it will be Graham who we speak to keep tabs on things, how they're going with Prem. But hopefully, it's definitely not the last time that we can have a conversation. But George, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you indeed, Mark, and I too hope it isn't the last conversation we have. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.